Hey guys, Nick Roush here again. We're going to do ourselves another Holiday Cube draft. And what do we have here? Not really much of anything that makes me want to go a certain direction, one or the other. Looking at our strongest cards, we have Sword of Feast and Famine. Generic swords are always nice, and this one is pretty good. We have generic removal in Dismember, a couple of Planeswalkers. If we want to draft mono red, we'll pick Koth here, but I don't think that's what we want to do. We've already done that. It's kind of boring. We're going to stay away from that. Venser is a really, really sweet Planeswalker, be able to do some tricks with it. I like Glenelendra Archmage, and Primeval Titan is very good for the ramp deck, so I think it's down to Venser or Primeval Titan. You know what? I'm gonna lean towards Primeval Titan. I like the ramp decks and I like what they can do. Uh, so we're gonna go with that. We're not really losing out on much here. If there's like a busted archetype that comes our way, really the only thing we'd be missing out on is like Dismember as a generic removal spell. So let's go on to our next pack. And once again, a whole lot of nothing. Tezzeret, I'm not actually sure how good this card is. I know there's lots of artifacts in this, especially with the Moxen and the Power 9 added in. Uh, I kind of just want to take the Watery Grave, since I think it's the best card here. Had we taken Koth, we'd be taking Rakdos Cackler. There really just is not much going on here. I wish I had more experience with Tezzeret in the cube, because I think it could be very, very powerful. It just does not go with our first pick at all. So we're looking at either Taiga or Watery Grave. I think Watery Grave is the better one. Taiga does go with Primeval Titan though. Nah, we'll take the Taiga. We'll take the Taiga. Okay, here. Alright, the most busted thing we can be doing is Gilded Lotus. Momentary Blink is super sweet with Primeval Titan. Or Channel's pretty busted as well. I'm not sure which one is better here. We don't have any Eldrazi's or anything like that to channel into. We can always channel into Primeval Titan, or if we get an X-Spell, we get to do that. We can be on the lookout for other X cards, or cards like like Genesis Wave, that or Gilded Lotus. I think Channel is more busted, allows for more broken and powerful things, so we're gonna take the Channel. And here we go. That's something to channel onto, a Bonfire. Vampiric Tutor, I believe, is the best card overall. The tutoring effects are pretty good, especially if you're in some sort of combo thing. We do see a Buried Alive here for the Reanimator deck. There's also some other powerful cards like Control Magic. Fauna Shaman can go in a variety of different archetypes, like just a value rock deck, or the Reanimator style decks. You can do some wacky, nutty Vengevine things with it in survival. Night of the Reliquary is also very good, being that we have all the fetch lands in here. But we're going to stick with the Bonfire. We can channel into it. Primeval Titan pumps it up. Taiga pays for it. We're going to go with that. And here we have a Stomping Ground Show and Tell. Okay, plus some generic Mox. Oh boy, I actually don't know what to take here. So this is just a colorless Mox, which is still really, really good for us. I think we found the deck we want to be doing. We want to be show and telling in something. This card is extremely powerful. We can get our big fatties later. We can show and tell in Primeval Titan, which isn't the worst. We're not really out much in our early picks, and it is early in the draft where we can move into this archetype. Other than that, we would be picking the Stomping Grounds, or we could be picking the Simic Sky Swallower, and I would never fault anyone for taking the generic Mox, but we're going to move into a show and tell deck. And here, the only thing for us is really Simic... Oh, geez, there's Demonic Tutor? We are all over the place today. Maybe we... Man, I wish we would have taken that Vampiric Tutor now. Maybe we just take Demonic Tutor, since it is by far and away the best card. That's got to be better than taking a Bounce Land. Even though the Simic Growth Chamber does fit with the Show and Tell and the channel and whatnot, but no, we're just gonna take the Tutor. We're gonna move into that. I'm still not sure what we're doing here. We've just taken good cards so far, but as long as we get the mana fixing and we start seeing what's developing more in this draft. I mean, we just saw a really late Vampiric Tutor, Demonic Tutor, and Show and Tell. So we've got to be looking at something with those rather than our green cards. Here we have a Skull Clamp, which does nothing with what we have here, but it is the most powerful card in the pack. There's an Izzet Charm, which would allow us. It's a very versatile card. We could be playing like maybe a Rug Show and Tell deck. I have no idea. Or there's Wasteland. Wasteland is good. There is that Crucible coming around, so who knows? Maybe we'll wheel that Crucible. And now we have a Shelldock Isle. So clearly, people still haven't figured out that this card is absolute nuts. It just leads to so many things. Like, you're not playing 60 card decks, people. You are playing 40 card decks. With all the card draw and things, you can get through it very quickly. This is the card we want. Not even close. If this card was not in the pack, I would lean towards Mizzy Mortars or Meloku, though. But Shelldock Isle is far and away what we want. And Glenelendra Archmage comes back. Looks like no one really is in mono red yet, or else the Koth would be gone. Lion's Eye Diamond can do some powerful things in the right archetypes, but we want the Glenelendra Archmage here. And the Crucible did not come back. So we have a Battlefield Forge, Slime Glaciers for our mana. Urabrask goes well with the Primeval Titan. I'm still not ruling out like just a basic Rug ramp deck. So yeah, let's take the Urabrask. Oh, Crucible was in this pack. Okay, that's an easy pick then. We have Wasteland, we have Crucible. Oh, this deck is turning out to look pretty ugly, but we're going to salvage this. We can definitely salvage this. Neither Reliquary, Brushland, Goblin Rune Blaster. None of these cards really do anything for us. We're just going to take the Brushland. Next pick. So we might not end up playing this Demonic Tutor. But other than that, like, these cards kind of go well together. Here, Mystic Snake versus Scrubland. We're not in white. I do like the fixing, though. I think Mystic Snake is still the better card, whether we play it or not. So, what this can do is Show and Telling in Eldrazi's is very powerful. We also have the channel to go with it, so that's kind of one direction that we're looking at. I think the ramp archetype is what we want with this deck, and oh my gosh. So we have some choices in this pack. We have a Sapphire, a Ruby, a Jace, or Ulamog. Eldrazi's are definitely what we want, and something that is very powerful for our deck and will make our deck go. However, I don't think I can pass up an on-color Mox for the Ulamog or the Jace. It's possible that Ulamog comes back around. Let's see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe not. Ulamog's a very powerful card, but I'm going to take the Mox Sapphire. Like, I know I passed up on the generic Mox before. For the Show and Tell, but I think Show and Tell is much more powerful and lends us into an archetype. But generic Moxen are so very good. Here we have a couple of choices. We have the Underground Sea, which would lead us to be able to play our Demonic Tutor. we have Coalition Relic, and we have Thragtusk. I'm going to take the Coalition Relic. It's one of the best ramp spells in the cube, even with the Moxen in there. Being able to jump from 3 to 6 is a very, very good thing to do. Being able to play our Primeval Titans on turn 4 with just one ramp spell is excellent. So we're going to go ahead and take that. And here we have Avengers Zendikar. We have Lotus Cobra. Another fetch land. Worn Power Stone. Gaia's Cradle. So there's some definitely good cards in this pack. I'm going to take the Avengers Zendikar. It is one of the best things to ramp into in the ramp decks. We can show and tell it in early, just as a big 5/5 unit if we only get a couple of plants out of it. Lotus Cobra is a ramp spell. Gaia's Cradle is not what we want to be ramping with since we don't have all the early creatures. That goes much better with like the Mana Elves and Raphaelos and things like that. But Avengers Zendikar is what we want. Is a card we want to be ramping into. And here we can take the generic Signet or the Wooded Foothills. I'm going to take the generic Signet. It gives us our blue for Glenalendra into the Royal and whatnot, as well as it's just a turn 2 ramp card. So that's what we want to be doing. Wouldn't fault anyone for Ancient Tomb. Wooded Foothills is very good, and I like the mana fixing. If we had Lotus Cobra, I might lean towards the Wooded Foothills. It is important to note the fetch lands with Avengers Zendikar, but we want the turn 2 ramp card. Here we have another one, another Signet for us to go with. Treetop Village would be fine as well, but I don't really want to prioritize that this high. We definitely want to prioritize the ramp a little bit more. Rude Awakening would be fine as a kill spell. Nothing else is really in this pack for us. Forcible is good, but I don't think this is the kind of deck for it. And here we have another one, a Eureka! Eureka is very powerful. We're going to run with this archetype again and take the Eureka. I'm not sure how good Exploration is. I think I touched that on my first ramp draft. It requires you to have multiple lands in your hand, in which for it to be able to ramp out more. I guess if you have cards like Harmonize and Careful Consideration and more card draw spells, it becomes a lot better. So you can play your multiple lands and feed the gas that you want to ramp into. Otherwise, it's not the greatest. We're going to take Eureka here and then hope to get our big, powerful fatties around. Here we have more generic ramping signets and stuff. Gruul Signet is the one that fits our deck the best. We might not even be playing red. I guess we can just play red for Bonfire. That would be fine. And maybe we want to be playing this. We're going to take the Gruul Signet. I don't think the card off of Mind Stone is going to be that relevant. Is going to be that relevant. We'll take the Gruul Signet. So our ramp is coming together nice. We just need the things to ramp into, such as Sundering Titan. It's a great one to show and tell in. You can screw with people's mana. You can channel into it. We can Eureka it. That's the card we want. It's unfortunate there's lots of other good cards that we want in this pack, and none of them are going to come back around. Huntmaster is great. Shrine of Burning Rage is awesome for the red deck, even though it's not what we want. Breeding Pool is definitely a land that we would not mind having. So, Sundering Titan it is. Let's do this by cost. Come on, where's my next pack? What are we going to get? We're going to get that Ulamog background? I don't think we'll get the Jace. That's a little ambitious. Oh man, Eureka plus Uberbrask? Ooh, that's fun. We did get the Ulamog. That's exactly what we want. Another thing to show and tell into play. Another thing to Eureka. We can straight up ramp into it. Channel into it. That's good. I'm surprised that both the mana fixers are still in here. But Ulamog's definitely the card that we want. Alright, so our deck's starting to come together a bit. Let's Do that. So I don't know if we're going to be playing the Crucible lock. If we get a fetch land, we're definitely going to be playing it. Right now, since the only thing we have is Wasteland, it might not be the best. And I don't know if Mystic Snake, Glenelendra are what we want to be playing either. We probably just want to streamline our deck a little bit more, depending on what we get in the last pack. Both those cards are still good. And here we're going to go with the Underground Sea. Blue dual land. Allows us to play our Demonic Tutor, which could be very important. Here we have Remand or Strangergeist, Ancient Grudge for the sideboard. Not quite sure here. I'm not the biggest fan of counterspells. It can stop something our opponent's doing, but I want to take the Ancient Grudge for the sideboard. Even though I guess that might have been wrong, since we do have Into the Royal for problematic permanents. Here, let's hide this. Yeah, this deck's looking sweet now. I don't think we're going to play All Sun's Dawn. It's a cool card. It's a really cool card. I don't think we're going to play that. So we have 24 minus our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lands. So we're at 19. Alright, that's about where we want to be. Yeah, no one can be in mono red. I sincerely doubt anyone's in mono red. So Baboons or Baleful Strix. Let's take the Strix. Who knows? I like that card. Baboons could have been very correct. Let's hide this. No, we'll keep that Brushland up. It's sweet. We got all of the on-color signets. I really don't want anyone at Croman's Vengeancing against me, and since it looks like no one is playing mono red, we don't have to be worrying about either of those cards. Willbender's fine. I like Willbender. I've had it wreck me several times. Alright, we did get another black mana source. Makes this Demonic Tutor splash much, much easier. Here we have a Black Lotus. There isn't much else. I mean, you could make a case for Mana Crypt, since it does ramp every single turn. But this is colored mana, and I really don't think that it's a Black Lotus. Like, what more do I need to say? Maybe this Bolt will come back. Flame Tongue or Avalanche Riders would be fine to come back. We're going to take the Black Lotus. Here we get Birds of Paradise or Kozilek. We don't want this. Preordain would be fine. We're just going to take Kozilek. Another thing to show and tell Eureka into, to ramp into. Hopefully we get this Birds back. Outside of that, Preordain. Maybe Wildfire. That would be pretty awesome. Dumping in any one of these huge guys, and then Wildfiring everything away. That'd be awesome. So double Eldrazi. Looks like we got plenty of things to ramp into. Now if we can get a little bit more ramp, maybe some tutor effects, some mana fixing would be awesome. This deck is shaping up to be a sweet one. Blood Crypt, Badlands, Karplusan, Bayou, Brainstorm, Green Sun, Zenith. So I can Zenith for Primeval Titan or Avenger. Is that better than the fixing? There's no blue fixing in this pack, which I think is what we want the most. We're not going to take Blood Crypt because we would just take Badlands if we're going to take that. I'm going to highlight the Zeniths for now, but I'm going to think about this a little bit. How important is it to get to, like, I guess if we don't get Show and Tell or Eureka, getting to 7 or 8 mana is pretty important. to be able to get out one of our fatties. It does just count as another fatty. Maybe the Brainstorm is better. No, we're gonna take the Zenith. Here we have Tropical Island, Scalding Tarn, Genesis Wave. I like Genesis Wave a lot. It's cool to channel into. I don't think this is the deck for it because we want smaller cards to channel into. I am going to take the Scalding Tarn. It gives us another fetch land, or it gives us a fetch land to work with Crucible of Worlds. It gives us a way to landfall more with Avenger, as well as it fixes our mana. I'm going to take that card. If that wasn't there, Tropical Island would be my pick. Outside of that, we're looking at Frost Titan. None of the rest of this stuff really matters to me. So the fetch land is exactly what we want. Okay, we have a little bit more ramp with Golgari Signet. We didn't get the other Wildfire. We have Flooded Strand or Shivan Reef or Bloodstained Mire. Let's look at what these can fetch. Flooded Strand can get me the Underground. Bloodstained Mire gets me Taiga or Underground. So Bloodstained Mire is definitely the one that we want to take since it can get all of our colors with mana. Harmonize is a fine card. Muldrifter is a fine card. Maybe we do want Muldrifter. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lands. So it's 23. Nah. We can take the Bloodstained Mire here. I don't think we're missing out on too much. And Upheaval? Oh, come on, people. You're just giving me this deck. Alright. Upheaval and Ramp is really good, people. Maybe no one else is in the Ramp deck. Apparently people haven't gotten the memo on Upheaval either. We're gonna take that. Not even close there. Alright, more ramping. None of this is in our colors except Rakdos. I think we have enough black. Sulphur Springs, Bloodstained Mires, Underground Sea, 2 Warrant the Demonic Tutor. We don't have anything with white yet. Dual lands are nice. Maybe that Swords of Plowshares come back around. I think that's a little ambitious. We can take the Rakdos Carnarium. Yep. Now we won't need to play a Swamp for a Demonic Tutor. We can just do it off of that. Heartbreed of Spring, Inkwell, Primal Command. This is or Slaughter Pact. I think we're just ignoring everything our opponents are doing. Do I have too many fatties? I don't think Heartbeat's what I want since it is symmetrical. It allows our opponents doing powerful things to do them as well. Yeah, let's just take another fatty and Inkwell. This is fun. Impulse, Avalanche Riders, Bolt. I think, like I said before, I'm just going to ignore everything my opponents are doing. So I'm not even going to worry about Bolt. And we're just going to take the Impulse to feed into our stuff. Find our powerful spells. Here we're going to take Wildfire. Probably won't end up playing it. Faithless Looting Digs for what we want. Badlands fixes our mana. I probably should have taken the Karplues in there. That was wrong. I think I have enough red sources now too. Maybe we don't even play red. Nah, we're playing red. I need a miracle. Genesis Wave? Alright, we can play that. Shivan Reef, Mirari's Wake. We do have the white mana fixing now. I guess we don't. Never mind. Shivan Reef it is. I don't want anyone smashing anything of mine. And Delver. This is not a Delver deck. Not even close. Alright. Let's see what we have here. Let's build this pile of cards. I think we made a few mispicks. The Karplusan was definitely one of them. Okay. These are all for sure coming in. So that's 22. Whoops. Yeah, we can pile up all of these under one. So that's 24. If we play this plus 16 lands, I think that's fine, since we have Black Lotus and Sapphire, as well as Rakdos Carnarium. The question is, do we want to play any of Mystic Snake, Genesis Wave, Baleful Strix, or Wildfire? Wildfire is pretty sweet in this deck. Maybe we don't play Glenalendra? Glenalendra does buy us a lot of time against aggro decks, and as well as completely stops control decks cold. Wildfire is pretty awesome here, though. Just landing one of these big guys and then blowing up everything is pretty good. I think we do have enough Signets plus Crucible to warrant playing it. Can we play 15 lands? My cat is going crazy again. Do we want to take any one of these out? Take out Into the Royal? Yeah, let's just ignore everything our opponents are doing and just... Yeah, that looks fine. Alright, so sort by color. Let's put all of these lands in play. Not Brushland. We don't want you. Alright, so here's black-red, black-red. Let's get our black lands first. I think we definitely have enough black. We definitely have enough red with Taiga, Shivan Reef, Sulphur Springs. So we're basically looking at blue and green. So here's green, there's blue, blue. This can be either or. I think we just play like... Well, let's see what they say. Yeah, that's not happening. Maybe we play 5 and 1? I actually think maybe just 6 and 0. We have 5 blue sources. The only thing we could ever need blue for casting is Show and Tell and Impulse and Glenalendra. We don't need the mana till later on with that. We definitely want to hit our green. We do have these Signets as well. Yeah, we're just going to play 6 and 0. That gives us green. These both give us blue. This one does both. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, we have Sapphire as well. Yeah. I like that. Alright, let's submit this. And I'll be back for round 1.